Hello, friends. Welcome to Tori Talks TV. This is our Fab 5, and today's Fab 5 is from Game of Thrones Season 3, and this is our best quotes. Okay.
Yes.
So, Dr. S, let's start with our number 5s. You're going to go first, though. What's your number 5 best quote of Season 3 of Game of Thrones?
Okay. So mine is from episode 2 entitled Dark Wings, Dark Words.
Whoa, I don't remember that. What is that?
That's the name of the episode.
Oh. Well,
that's just the name of the episode. So Catelyn is talking to Lady Talisa.
Oh, okay.
And she says to her, all this horror that has come to this family is all because I couldn't love a motherless child.
Oh.
Jon Snow.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure why this one just sticks with me. I mean, I think all it really means is that she tells Talisa how she really hated Jon, like she wished that he was dead, and then he got the pox.
Yeah.
And he was almost gonna die, and then she felt so bad for like bringing this upon him that she prayed to the gods and said, if you let him live, I promise I will love him, and then she couldn't keep her word. That
is a big moment. I understand that quote, why that's,
So, I mean, I think I feel like the quote's more profound than it is. Like, if she had loved him, it would have set in motion different things. But I don't think it's that. It's just that she feels guilty.
Yeah.
And so, like, the gods are punishing her by, like, killing all her family.
Oh, yeah.
But anyways, the way she says it, though, it's really, like, sticks with me.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. All right, well, my number 5 is from episode 4, and it's said by Daenerys Targaryen. It is, yes, all men must die, but we are not men. And Dany says it to Missandei, which is very appropriate today. So that was like, it was just casual. They're just like scrolling along, and then she was like very strong about it because she's like, all men must die. And she's like, yes, all men must die, but we're not men. And it just it shows how fierce she is, and every time that happens, I like want to be like, you go, girl! Like, I want to root for her and cheer. So, it was powerful. It was
powerful.
Yeah, exactly. So that's my number 5.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, let's move to number 4. What's your number 4?
Okay, so mine is from episode 10. The episode's called Misa.
Misa.
So Tywin is talking to Tyrion.
Okay.
And he says to Tyrion, the house that puts family first will always defeat the house that puts whims and wishes of its sons and daughters first. A good man does everything in his power to better his position, regardless of his own selfish desires.
Such a good one.
And like right after this, I'm getting goosebumps. He tells Tyrion, for example, I would have let you die, but you're a Lannister.
Just came out and said it.
He just brought up. So Tyrion's like, what the
no remorse.
Seriously?
Yeah, I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
That was very well said.
Yeah.
That's a good quote.
That was a good one.
Such a sad scene, but yeah. Good. I'm gonna go a little bit lighter. My number 4 is said by my sweet Jon Snow in episode 5, and it's very simple. I don't ever want to leave this cave. Aww. Okay, I know it's just like a sentence, but Jon, like, I was thinking, like, okay, he's gonna join the Night's Watch, he's never gonna find love, he's never gonna be able to be intimate with a woman, and then, like, here's his chance, and, like, he seems so happy and blissful in that moment. See, look at them.
Yeah, I know, that was funny.
They're so cute,
I
and
like that.
Just to hear him say that, because he's always very serious, he obviously had a very, like, hard life, and, his stepmom didn't even like him, but, so it was just, and it was hard times for him, he has to join the Night's Watch, and so, in that moment, I felt like he was like, I don't ever want to leave this cave, like, this is
That's sweet.
Bliss for him. Yeah.
I like how she's like, you know nothing, Jon Snow. And apparently he does know something.
Oh, he sure does.
She's like, how'd you learn to do that? He's like, I don't know. I just wanted to kiss you there.
One of my favorite episodes. For many reasons.
Yes.
But yeah,
anyways.
That's my favorite quote.
Okay.
Number 4. So, number 3?
I'm going to get dark again.
Okay, bring it back down.
So, number 3 for me is from episode 6 called The Climb.
Okay.
So this is where Littlefinger is talking to Varys. They're like in the Red Keep at the Iron Throne. Varys is just kind of like looking at the throne because, he's really into the throne. And Varys walks in. And so Littlefinger knows that Varys had made Roz basically pay for like letting people know of his plan to take Sansa. And then so Littlefinger says, the realm is a story we tell ourselves over and over again until we forget it's a lie. And Varys says to him, what do we have left when we abandon the lie? Chaos, a gaping pit waiting to swallow us all. But this is the quote, though. This is the one.
Oh.
Littlefinger says, chaos isn't a pit. Chaos is a ladder. Many who try to climb it fail, never to try again. The fall breaks them. And some, given a chance to climb, they refuse. He's referring to Sansa there. Because he offers to take her, but she's like, no. They cling to the realm of gods or love, illusions. Only the ladder is real. The climb is all there is. He is like all about power and getting there. And like this little exchange that we have them, it's so ominous.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that. Those two characters are very interesting.
And he's like, there's not 1,000 swords in that throne. I've counted. And
of course you have.
like, of course you have.
Ooh.
Oh, that whole exchange.
That was good.
Creeps me out.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a
creepy
long one.
for sure. No, that's really good. So my number 3 is said by Roose Bolton in episode 9. He stabs my Robb Stark and says, the Lannisters send their regards. Okay, again, short and sweet, but it is so huge because all this chaos is going on and you're like, what in the world is happening? And then just to seal the deal, Roose Bolton says that. And I mean, just going back to that episode, that whole episode is like crazy and that whole scene. But just like when he says that, I'm like, did this really just happen? It just, like I said, it sealed the deal for that whole Red Wedding scene.
Like, just in case you didn't know who made that all happen.
They send their regards. Oh,
Those
man.
Lannisters.
I know. So that, because it was so powerful and big and kind of a game changer, that's my number 3.
Okay.
Yeah. And let's go number 2.
Number 2.
Okay,
so it's
2?
from episode 4, and now his watch has ended.
Okay.
So this is when Lady Tyrell is talking to Cersei. You know, Joffrey and Marjorie are talking about their wedding, and then they kind of veer off. And then that leaves Cersei and Lady Tyrell to kind of talk to each other. And she says to Cersei, we mothers do what we can to keep our sons from the grave. They do seem to yearn for it. Shower them with good sense, and it slides right off like a wing. Oh. And then Cersei says, sorry, I like long, not short and sweet.
Go for it.
Cersei says, yet the world belongs to them, to the men. And Lady Tyrell says, a ridiculous arrangement to my mind. And Cersei says, the gods seem fit to make it so.
So which one of those is your quote?
My quote is the whole thing.
Oh, the dialogue?
It's the dialogue.
The whole thing,
It's all about how, like, the world is made for men, but yet they don't know what the heck they're doing.
Obviously.
And it's the women.
Yeah.
The women who
well,
know.
those are very, very powerful, strong women right there. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah. They scare me.
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
They're
they
both
really
scary
do.
women.
Yeah. Well, I'll talk about another woman.
Okay.
Very interesting woman. So my number 2 was said in episode 1 by Marjorie Tyrell. She said, the lowest among us are no different from the highest if you give them a chance and approach them with an open heart. Again, just a good life lesson. Like, I mean, yes, it's not pivotal to the story, but that's true. You know, don't think you're better than anybody. And, you know, I still think she's kind of a phony. But the fact that she said it, I think it was very sweet. And I think that we shouldn't think that we're better than anybody, even though she's surrounded by elitists.
She's power hungry, but she seems like she's going about it in a good way.
I want to believe it too. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I hope for her.
There's
because
different
that
ways.
was really sweet.
Yeah.
She's got to give them a chance to be open-minded. They're just as good as we are.
I don't mind that.
Good for you.
I mean, in the spectrum of the people in this world.
In this world, exactly.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay with her right now.
Right. Well, anyway. Okay.
Okay.
You're basically saying this is your number 1 best quote from season 3 of Game of Thrones. Dr. S, what is it?
Well, I mean, my number 1 was your number 4 or 5.
Stop it.
Yes, it was. So it's from Walk of Punishment, and it's Dany saying to Miss Sunday. So she's basically asking her, I know it's a good one.
Yes.
So Miss Sunday's explaining to her, like, the Unsullied will die for you, and Dany asks her, well, what about you? Will you die for me, now that I will be your master after this deal goes down? And Miss Sunday answers, Valor Margulis. And Dany replies, yes, all men must die, but we are not men. But also, that little smile, Miss Sunday's like...
I know! And they're like, yeah, the camera catches that?
She's
yeah.
I know something's going to go down.
She's like, that's my girl.
I know. And you think about this show and, like, all the women that are left in the end.
Yes.
Or at least in the end, so as we know it so far.
As we know it, yes, exactly. Okay, I'm so glad.
I really like that
we
one.
had the same. That's awesome. Okay, so my number 1 best quote of season 3 of Game of Thrones was said by Jon Snow Shocking. In episode 1, very simple. I want to fight for the side that fights for the living. He's so good, you know? He's everything that you want him to be, and he never disappoints. And it was about, like, you know, the White Walkers, and it was about, like, that kind of dead, but just, like, him saying that just describes him, and I want to fight for the living. Like, you know, if they had politicians in that world, I'd vote for him to be president of that land.
I like that one, too.
Yeah, that was really good. That was really sweet and moving. And you should want to fight for the living, right?
Yeah.
Right?
I almost picked that one.
Really?
I almost did, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I really was just, like, watching it, and I was like, oh. And I, like, rewound it, and I'm like, but I gotta get this. I gotta get it verbatim. And it's Jon Snow.
He was lying.
Hmm.
He chose the perfect thing to trick them into believing that he was on their side. It's just because he was kind of ambivalent.
He does what he has to do, and I love him for it. He can do no wrong in my eyes. Well, everybody, we hope that you agreed with our best quotes of season 3. Please let us know, comment, like. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. All right, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.